Hey guys, welcome back. I thought today we would spend the day reading together. I have been doom scrolling through all of my free time this past week, and it's been so bad on my mental health. And I really need to not be doing that and spending time outside of my phone. So I know my screen time this week has been absolutely horrendous. So I thought it might be fun to spend the day together reading. I don't think I have any other plans for the rest of the day. It's 11:30 and I want to read as much as possible and try to stay off my phone because my mental health has been just so bad. I have been not wanting to do anything. I am just so unmotivated. I'm going to try to change that today. So I did start reading Abigail by Magda Szabo. I am about, there goes the lawn mowing. It's really loud. I'm reading Abigail by Magda Szabo. I'm about 180 pages in, so I'm a little over halfway. This is my first book by Magda Szabo, and I am loving it. So this book follows Gina, who is a young teenager. I'm so sorry, you're going to have to hear that. Lawnmower, I don't even know what it is. I think it's a lawnmower. We follow Gina, who is a young teenager, and she is living in Hungary with her father. Her father is a general, and this is in the height of World War II. And she is sent to a very strict religious boarding school. Her father doesn't really tell her exactly why, but she is just stripped from her current living situation and is just immediately sent to this boarding school. She didn't have any time to tell her friends, didn't get to really say goodbye to anyone. She is very upset, but also trying to be understanding of why exactly this is happening. And of course, her father was just like, I'll be here. I'll call you every week. See ya. We follow her as she is trying to adapt into this new boarding school. Again, they have very strict rules. They have very strict rules about their uniform, their hairstyle, the way they need to respond to people, things like that. And it's very different from how she has been living prior to being sent to this school. And her classmates in that year are all very unique individuals as well. I think it was about 19 students in her specific class. And then you also are learning about how all of them are sort of coping being in this very strict school and a very strict regimen that they're under. And they try to make the most of being in this very prescriptive and sterile environment. So among the students in her year, they have traditions, they have these things to kind of get them through the school year, or get them through living in this boarding school. And so one of the stories that they sort of conjure up from things that they've heard in the prior years is about a statue that is in their outdoor garden area, and the statue is named Abigail. And basically with that statue, it's you can go with an earnest heart to that statue and ask for help regarding, maybe it's a love life or some kind of problem that they're having, or sending letters to people outside of this boarding school, things like that. And so they've heard stories about people doing something like that, and then that Abigail is assisting them in getting problem solved. We don't really get into the meat of that in the beginning. You're sort of getting more of Gina's story with her classmates, the sort of friction that she has, because again, she comes in with an attitude of being why am I here? Why am I having to deal with all of these people? Why am I having to deal with, leadership and these other students? It feels like she has kind of an upturned nose to these people that are in this establishment. And so far, I am loving the writing. Something about the book is so addicting to read. I just keep reading pages and pages and pages. And there's also something so endearing about Gina as well. Yes, she seems a little bit more privileged than a lot of these girls that are in that school, but you're also getting parts of, oh, she is literally just a young teenager and doesn't really know why she's here. And she also is very intelligent. There are bits and bobs that feels like, oh yeah, she's definitely a kid. But then there's also some moments where she sort of has like a lot of emotional intelligence, a lot of like a quick wittedness in noticing things as well. But right now we are getting a little bit more into the statue Abigail and getting a little bit more the relationships that Gina is creating with like her schoolmates, with teachers, and the people in this boarding school. So far, it's a really good read. I am so glad I picked this up. I'm very excited to read more by Mark DeZavo, but I thought it would be fun to spend the day reading, and I don't think I'm gonna finish this today, but I will try my best to try to read as much as possible. It's almost 3 o'clock right now. I was outside for maybe an hour and a half, and then I ended up getting carried away and started gardening a little bit. It got extremely hot outside, so I came in, took a shower, and I hate when I've been outside and I'm sweaty and I go inside, take a shower, come out and I'm still sweaty. You know what I mean? Because there's no cold water. It's just lukewarm and it's still hot. I am on page 207 in Abigail, so I think I read maybe a little under 30 pages, which is like pretty typical for me for reading like an hour. I think I read about 30 pages in an hour, but I was outside for like an hour and a half, but I got carried away because I was eating, did a little bit of a TikTok scroll because I was trying to upload a video. But anyways, I'm going to try to read until I have to get ready to eat dinner. And then I'm really going to try to lock in and read for the rest of the night after that. I think I want to get really close to finishing this tonight. Again, I'm not confident I will, but I want to get like extremely close. But yeah, that's my plan for the rest of the day, is just to read and again, stay off my phone. Don't try to get on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube and get carried away. Hey guys, it's 8:30 now. I'm getting ready to wind down. I am on page 249 and I'm still really enjoying Abigail. There are moments where every now and then there is a lot of like suspense or some mystery to some type of thing. I don't want to spoil too much by saying anything, but there is moments of suspense, which is really keeping me engaged. But I'm also just loving the relationships of the students with it, like amongst themselves, and then also some of the relationships with the students and like the deaconess. It's just like a really endearing story, but with the backdrop of this being in World War II, I feel like the main character, Gina, she is sort of becoming a little bit more aware of the effects
of the current climate of the war slowly like creeping into her life, whereas before it wasn't really present. And now she's just kind of seeing like echoes of it throughout her daily life. And then now it's like affecting specific students in her school as well. There is a lot of bravery on her part for involving herself in assisting those people. I feel like there's going to be some kind of reveal at the end. I'm at the part of the book where I feel like there's like a lot of foreshadow of like reveals happening, or a lot more suspense is going on. And I can't exactly put my finger on exactly what the final reveal would be. We do get moments of callbacks to her, or I guess I don't even know if it'd be considered like a callback because it's like her more like adult life. But there are parts and passages in the book where you are in like the present time in her school, and then it will reference her in her adult life. And so that is giving like a little bit of information, and it keeps me in suspense because there's like very tiny reveals in that as well. Right now it's Christmas time in her, I don't even know what to say, in her current timeline, I would say, while she's in school. I just feel like there's going to be something at the end of this, and I don't really know what it is. I'm going to try to read more. I think there is still like 70, 80 pages left in this book, and I really want to finish it, but I don't think I can because I think that would take me like 2 hours to finish, 2.5 hours. And I don't know, I might be asleep by then, but I'm gonna get ready to go to bed so that I can just keep reading until literally my eyes are just done for the day. So this will be my last update for the day, and I got to page 270, so 90 pages is not bad. I wish I read more. I definitely could have, but I just got distracted by a few things. I feel like I was not on my phone as much, which was great, but I was still on my phone today. So I'm going to try my best for the next week, or really for the rest of my life, to not be so attached to my phone. But I think this is going to be like a 5-star book. It is so good, and I get very surprised by some of the things that are happening in there. I don't know, the storytelling is so well done. I'm always like in suspense, which doesn't feel like this doesn't feel like a type of book that would have like suspense. And the character growths and the relationships, it's just all so good. I am just so enamored by this story, and we're kind of getting into a little bit of like the most exciting part of the story to me, it feels, which kind of sucks because I'm about to go to bed, but I haven't been able to put it down, and I feel like I'm not going to be able to put it down tomorrow when I start finishing this book.
I didn't feel bored at all throughout this story. I really love the main character Gina, and I've come to love a lot of the other characters. Her dad, oh my god, don't even get me started. Yeah, it's just such an interesting story, and Gina going through a change in her life, and then her biggest obstacle is the Matula, which is the school that she's in right now, the boarding school. There are moments where she feels like, of course, the boarding school is like her number one enemy. But then other times it feels like the boarding school, like she is like enjoying her time. She loves that she's met some of these people through the boarding school. So it's like a really good coming of age book. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I know I didn't read that much today, but I tried. I will see you guys next time. Bye.